How's it going, folks? It's Lobo, and welcome back to the channel. And here we are with episode 3 of Hawkeye. If you're not already caught up with my series, you can find the links to that in the description, as well as any other MCU-related projects that I previously reacted to and movie reactions. Again, that is all in the description if you're interested in that. But here we are with the next episode. I'm very excited for this one. I believe it's called the title Echoes, so that obviously has to have some association with the character Echo, which was revealed at the end of last episode. So I'm interested to see that sort of development and how that unfolds and what it means for the future of the MCU, because obviously I'm still hearing all these rumors that Kingpin is going to appear, eventually Matt Murdock and stuff, and Echo is apparently a Daredevil character. So like all this sort of multiversal shit incorporated with the street level threat that Hawkeye is dealing with and the association of sort of Daredevil characters. So I'm interested to see how that all culminates. But here we are with the next episode, and I'm looking forward to it. And without further ado, let's get right into it.
To jump between two worlds. Just by watching.
Who is that? He had loud footsteps. Was that who I think it was? And she just dropped him like that. I mean, she was paying attention better than everyone. I can hear the sword. Oh my god. Dude. Jeez, that's a lot of blood. God, I love the sound design in this sequence. It's like if your ears are ringing, you can hear the muffled sounds. Oh, it's so good. Dude, he killed her father too? Ah, holy shit, that's so sad. Now I can see why she's taken such an interest in Hawkeye. Well, specifically Ronan. And she thinks Kate Bishop's Ronan. Oh, it's terrible. I really liked her origin, the way they set that up. They did put a coin in it. I said last episode they need to.
It's for a gift. So she wants to bring her sister.
I mean, look on the bright side. You don't have to go see Imagine Dragons.
I love Imagine Dragons.
Yeah. Kate doesn't like Imagine Dragons, bro? What?
More cookie, please. Thank you.
Now she means your hearing aid.
Ah,
You might find you're better off without it.
yeah, sometimes I think that very same thing.
He looks right at her.
Because he's dead.
So who got him then?
Yeah, it looked like he said Natasha Romanoff.
And the person who...
Oh no.
Listen to me. Listen. No, now's not the time to be scared. We're gonna get out of this. You'll go back to living your life. I'll go back to my family. We gotta harness that.
Damn, she headbutted him. Oh shit. Damn. Damn, she's kicked his ass. He used the trampoline. Oh shit, there was a bow there! I didn't know they took the bow with them back to their hideout. I mean, that's great planning if he sort of had that in mind the whole time. What a sick shot. Into the ball pit. Damn, that was so clutch. That looks so weird. He's not killing anyone, though. Well, he might have killed that guy. Never mind. I don't know. It looks like he's hitting them in the shoulder. And that was in the hand.
Man, this thing's beautiful.
Aw.
Challenger, come on.
He's got a point. Oh, I love the angle on this. Holy shit, bro. What a shot. Oh, this is so cool. It's just one camera pan. This legit feels like a video game chase, and it's awesome. Man, bro. This scene has not cut once yet. Oh, there it is. But still, that was impressive. That was a huge one-shot. Obviously, there's going to be some CG, but it's impressive the way they shot this particular scene.
It'd be a lot easier if we were facing the other way.
You were facing the other way.
Yeah, just a... Hey, we're
Oh, that's funny. Does their band say trust the bro? Did I read that right? Into the Christmas tree lot. I'm so bad at driving in reverse. I could not do what Clint is doing right now.
Shoot up.
Him? What, is he gonna make him big? What? Bro, holy shit. It's like when Scott was like, ooh, throw it at the truck. And he's like, I thought it was a water truck in Civil War. Oh, it's just like that. He's gonna do the thing. That's why he has the plunger arrow. They should have Spider-Man's shirt that says, I survived my trip to New York City. It would work so well for what they just been through.
So, I won't lie, I wasn't sure how I'd do it.
Probably should walk the dog. What do you think? Been cooped up all day.
Man, I love the sound design.
Hey, babe. Hey, listen, I can't really talk right now. Daniel? Nathaniel? What are you doing, buddy?
Aww.
Yeah. Nathaniel? Buddy?
Aww. Oh, it sucks.
No.
Uncle? Is he the same guy I kind of made fun of in the first episode because out of nowhere on the street he just revealed his mask? Obviously they did that so you'd recognize his face to have some sort of reappearance in every episode because you need that continuity. But it was just like so weird. It's like...
Better than anything we did in the middle of that crazy battle.
And you just can't hear a thing. I mean, he probably lost that bro. He gets annoyed sometimes when Kate talks too much.
Is that the whole time?
Can I get some more coffee, please?
Thank you.
You need a more recognizable costume.
Are we gonna go comic accurate?
Like a hawk. That's an H that's on your forehead. That's for Hawkeye.
That's old school.
And two, my wife would divorce me if I put something like this on.
Christmas because you thought some stranger was gonna get hurt. You stuck around even though I screwed up.
Pizza dog.
I mean, he loves pizza.
Operation.
I thought Maya was the boss.
No, there's someone above Maya. Someone you don't want to mess with.
Man, this tease with the guy on top. It's gotta be him.
Auction that night, and yesterday he offered me a butterscotch.
Not exactly a crime. You tried to stab your mom's fiance in the face.
From her mom's death.
It's the Jack thing. It's weird. Jeez, this is a home.
Right?
Yeah, my great-great-great-great-grandpa.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong business.
For real. Oh, is he gonna find his sword there? Because remember, Jack took it with him. Of course, someone's home.
Let me see what I can pull up on Jack.
Don't move.
No. No way it ended like that, bro! I said he had the sword! Oh my god. Why did I think it was her mom, Eleanor, in there? I didn't expect it to be Jack with, like, his own damn sword. Holy shit. Man, I loved that episode, and I honestly think so far it's my favorite one yet because there were so many different things going into it that made it great. And it wasn't just sort of focusing on one certain aspect. Like I said, last episode to me, the real standout thing was humor, comedy, really sort of centering itself around more fun and giddy episode. While this one felt like it was juggling a lot of different themes. And I wouldn't call them genres, but it had a lot of different tones and moods and vibes going in with it. But it wasn't so much that it felt over sort of saturated or populated or whatnot. It did a good balancing between all of them, and it flowed very well. And just looking at it, one of the standout things for me was sort of the in the moment type of situations where literally when you watch, it felt very personal and very emotional. And a lot of that had to do with the sort of hearing impairment between Clint and obviously the new character Maya, who again I think is Echo. And I loved her origin. When it started off with that, with her in class, and she was like reading people's lips and stuff, but you could see by her writing, she's very intelligent, and her attentiveness and sort of having to learn and heighten her other senses and be more aware really is impressive. And as she mentioned in Clint, he would be better off without it because see how her skills have developed, even though technically she would be at a disadvantage. She made it her advantage, so that's very impressive. And it was a very cool thing to see. And again, her origin and then the relationship with her father. And then when it sort of turned the tables and stuff, well, I'll get into that a bit about her later. But right now I just want to focus on, as I was saying, that hearing and stuff. And when they did the scenes where you could sort of almost listen through her ears and Clint's, where I said it was almost like your ears were ringing minus the ring, but it's just that sort of muffled sound in the distance. You can't quite make it out. I wouldn't say it sounds like you're underwater, but it is that sense of just sort of a loss of hearing, but it's just like the loud noises present themselves. And sometimes it's really incorporated in war movies because, again, like the loss of hearing, the flashbang, and then your ears ring from explosions. But I think it just added so much depth to the scenes because you're sort of caught up in the moment and trying to look through their eyes and experience what they feel because it's such a shock and awe moment, but yet it's deprived of sound and somehow it amplifies how you feel. I just thought they did an incredible job on that criteria. And the use of ASL I thought was awesome. And it really reminds me of in Spider-Man Miles Morales, I think the character's name was Haley. She was like the first on-screen video game character and honestly movie character when it comes to heroes that I've seen use ASL sign language and who was deaf. So I like that they're doing more of that. And I know I have yet to see Eternals. I'm going to react to that on my channel. I know also they have a deaf character. I think, again, the name is Makari. So I love how they're incorporating more real life situations and people and stuff. It really sort of makes it very diverse but accurate to modern times and stuff. And it's nice to have that sort of aspect because, again, when you put it into terms of heroes and sort of the journey, because, again, this is a show after all. But, again, it has sort of themes and moral implications on society and how we can grow ourselves and stuff. But you could see by Maya specifically with her growth where she trained and watched and stuff. I thought that was very powerful and that was a very beautiful story. I really liked the way they architected that. It felt very natural and very real, so I really do appreciate them on that. And so far I am enjoying her character more than I thought I would because, again, once you see sort of a villain in Red Lightning because she was standing in it, they try to make you obviously have antagonist vibes and stuff, and being so base in nature with how movies are, it's obviously supposed to have this duality of good versus evil. You have your antagonist and protagonist, and you always want the hero to do good. But I love when they present these sort of, I wouldn't say moral dilemmas, but they make their villains complex. The most recent one had to be Shang-Chi's father. If you didn't watch my reaction to that, that's on my channel if you're interested in that. But again, it was just presenting a more layered antagonist rather than your generic one who's just only in it for money or ambition or power, or they're just like evil. I like that there's sort of not flaws, but there's a past there. And you could see with her father when she just returned home, to their shop, and you see Ronan killing everyone and there was blood spattering on the walls. I was like, damn, that's a very, very violent scene, but very personal again because you were hearing through her ears, but the focus, because you couldn't really hear, was just on the sight and just seeing all this unfold. And then she gets to her father, and you started off the episode with a very wonderful connection between the two when he was talking to her about dragons and stuff. And then like one of his final words was, fly away, little dragon. I was like, damn, that's very sad. I just really think that they shot it beautifully and they wrote it very, very well. I'm super impressed by her character so far. And it looks like her right-hand man, Kazi, I think the name is. He's her translator. I said earlier in the video, he looked like the guy that took off his mask in the first episode, which I made fun of because they're standing in the street and they're trying to like do a robbery and stuff and be all secretive. And in front of a whole crowd of people in parked cars, he's just like, she's getting away. Well, he didn't say anything, but it was just the fact that she was getting away and he unveiled himself. But obviously that was shot purposely so that you recognize his face because of course he would be a reoccurring character. So I know there are certain things that go into the decision making on that, but I just thought it was funny in the moment to see him sort of unveil himself so unnecessarily just to get a better look, even though he has perfect eye holes with a ski mask. We got a lot more, I wouldn't say dramatic, but we definitely got more special moments between Kate and Clint. Obviously we can see their relationship developing, and I love the subtlety of it, where he's always talking about how he's not really a hero to everyone. She says it's due to marketing and stuff, but it's more him just not thinking himself as a hero, because inside he doesn't feel like that based on the things he's done. And even before he became Ronin, he is similar to Natasha in terms of what they had to do, sort of assassination, hit runs, type of special operations. It's more of the darker side, like the soldier warfare, rather than a hero saving someone and being praised by the people. He gets more sort of boots on the ground, go through the thick of it in the mud, so to speak. So from that experience, coupled with Ronin stuff, obviously on the inside, he doesn't really think of himself as a hero. Because, again, I wouldn't say it's selfish, but he definitely has a selfless type of personality. And it's good character and stuff. And as she was saying, how could you not think of yourself as a hero when you're sacrificing essentially your Christmas and being with your family to fix someone else's mistakes because she accidentally put on the Ronin suit? But little does she know, technically it is his mistake because he was the one who first donned the suit. But technically they're both right in that regard because, again, she made the mistake of wearing it accidentally, not knowing what it really entailed, and then him was the reason for all of it. But I love they're both valid points. Even though nothing was really spoken, we understand both of their situations. So both of them have a sense of being right. And what I really like with, what I would want to see is I want the part where she talks to him and says that she watched him during the attack in New York. Like, she was there and he saved her and stuff. So I would really like if they sort of touch on that a bit. I'm sure in a later episode they might possibly, because I'd really like to see that. Because she obviously verbally expresses that he means a lot to her, not just by what he's doing, but he can see that she's taken such a great interest in him, specifically in archery, and sort of modeling what she wants to do after him. So I'd love if he would get the explanation for that by her telling him that, hey, you saved my life, and I watched you sort of in this, because she was a terrorized child, and see the hero come and save her. It's that inspiration. As you mentioned in a previous episode, you inspire. So it's kind of, they're not on the same playfield right now because he doesn't know what she means by that and how personal it is to her. So I love, again, that just subtlety of it, and I can't wait for them to sort of be direct about it. And just some more things on the relationship between Kate and Clint. I really like that, again, I mentioned where it's that muffled sound and deprived of sound because you're supposed to hear it through his ears, but he was really having a hard time hearing without his hearing aid, even more so than I thought. I thought it was just to aid him a bit, just to boost it up, but I didn't think it was really so impactful that he had such a loss in hearing that he couldn't even hear people who were within his own proximity. So that moment where she was sort of translating by writing down when he was having that conversation with his son and stuff, I thought was great. And it also was a very good scene because it was great acting. I thought there were a lot of scenes that had great moments of acting. There was one where, what was it, just before we get further into this, where Kate, obviously the actress Haley, I can never pronounce her name right, Steinfeld, she was getting sort of interrogated by Maya, and the look of fear on her face and how shocked she was and sort of trying to catch her breath after when she let her go and stuff. She's a great actress. There's just something I noticed. I'm like, damn, that was some great acting skills. But as I said, on the note with talking to his son over the phone and her translating by writing down, with that acting and just by the look on his face, on Hawkeye, on Clint's face, you get the real sense, as I mentioned in the previous episode, I don't think he thinks or believes that he will make it on time for Christmas. I think it's one of those things where the parent is just trying to do their duty and sort of not appease but calm their child, and sometimes it's just like a lie, frankly. Because I would imagine even if he 100% knew he couldn't make it on Christmas, he's still not going to say that. He's like, yeah, no, I'll be there. Like when he put them in the car and stuff, and he's like, yeah, no, I'll be back. And you could just see the look on his face that he knows that this door is being opened, like this door to all sorts of trouble and mistakes and consequences from his past are now finally going to catch up to him. And he knows that sort of this chaos or struggle has begun, essentially. And I really like that. And I not part of me, all of me really wants him just to make it on time for Christmas with his family. That would be nice. So the dog, I guess they're naming it Pizza Dog. I'm like, that's interesting. Well, the dog likes pizza and stuff, so finally we have a name for the dog instead of just saying the dog. I love how it's just kind of there for some scenes, then disappears, but that's all right. What I want to talk about now, though, is the sort of uncle. They mention uncle a bit, and apparently he's like the leader of the Tracksuit Mafia right now. And I'm like, that's interesting. Who's uncle? Obviously, I think it's more just a fake name because I don't think it's her direct uncle, but if he was partners with her father, because their father was originally in charge of the Tracksuit Mafia, it would be like that uncle sort of figure, because they would be like, so her father and that anonymous person would be, so to speak, brothers. So you know how families work. So I'm like, who is this uncle figure? Is it the same one that sort of touched her face when she was a child in that flashback? Because based on the sound of walking and stuff, and it looked like they were wearing a suit, you do get the impression it's Wilson Fisk. And I'm like, damn. It's interesting, though, because, again, I've not watched Daredevil, and I plan on reacting to it at some point, either at the end of this month or beginning early next year, like January. But if it's the same actor, I think his name is Vincent D'Onofrio, possibly. Don't quote me on that. But if it's the same actor, it kind of makes, I wouldn't say a plot hole, but it begs a lot of questions because, well, technically it doesn't. Because I was going to say that sort of predates, because he would have to be from the multiverse then, because there's no way Daredevil, the entirety of Daredevil's, I think it's 3 seasons, took place in the same Earth as MCU. Just that it doesn't, because I don't think they would make it like, oh, all along it took place, but it was so subtle that none of the big name heroes noticed this going on. I don't think it's like that. So it would obviously have to be some sort of multiverse related thing. Well, no more No Way Home, because everyone says Charlie Cox is in there. But we have to know with Loki, because you can't get in the mindset of thinking when Loki and Sylvie did the thing, and, well, Sylvie was the sole one who killed King and released his variants and stuff and split the multiversal war and made it so it's reoccurring. It didn't happen in a specific moment in time. It happened outside of time. So technically, it's always been occurring. So if they could do some sort of grand explanation in that terms of how Wilson Fisk from a different Earth was on our Earth all along, it would make sense because, again, it was just not a single point in time. It was just a time as a stretch. It's getting into time variance and shit is so confusing, but I feel like they would have to do some sort of explanation along those lines to make you understand, or for it to make just logical sense as to why this one specific actor is playing Wilson Fisk in the MCU present and past. That's just what I'm wondering. And then finally, we had the big sort of reveal. I said that, I'm like, oh wait, doesn't Jack still have his sword? Because when he walks by, and I think it was their dining room, you can see the swords on this wall, so you're like, wow, he's an avid collector of such. But then I'm like, ooh, what if his sword's on the wall, and then he'll just have like a cool pause and then come back and just look at it like, oh my god. Kind of like, I don't know if you've ever played God of War, but it just reminds me of when Kratos was in the treasure room for Tyr, when he was in Tyr's temple. I don't know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have no idea. But essentially, it was a guy looking at a mistake of his past, and then he got caught up in the moment because Kratos was walking by and he saw a vase of himself sort of murdering people, and it reminded him of his past, a past he deliberately walked away from and tried to evolve from. And when he like slowly walked by, noticed it in the corner of his eye, then came back, I was like, oh shit. I was thinking a moment similar to that would occur here, where he saw the sword on the wall and he's like, oh shit, it's my sword. And he starts having these flashbacks of killing everyone. But no, Jack was the one who came in, not Eleanor. And he got the sword, and then he was like, yo, who are you? I don't know what he said. I forget what he said, but I'm like, ooh, that confrontation is going to be good. Obviously, Kate's there, so she's going to go, oh, blah, 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 or whatever. She's very good at, I wouldn't call it weaseling, but she's very good at sort of the, just stabilizing the situation. She's able to calm it down and sort of puzzle her way out of things. I wouldn't say weasel, because that more has the implication of her like sort of lying. Well, technically she is lying. But she's very good at sort of navigating her way through tight situations and sort of obstacles that are in her way. But she does it in a way that is so natural and improvised, like on the spot, like instantly, that is very impressive. So I would imagine that she would be able to come up with something to make sure the situation doesn't get exacerbated at such an alarming rate. So yeah, very interested to see how this all turns out. I'm going to watch the next episode now because I got some time before it's midnight. Not that midnight has any sort of significance. I think it's weird to watch anything past midnight. That sounds weird. I watch shit past midnight. I mean like react. I don't want to react past midnight. I don't know. It's just like some weird thing. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I certainly did enjoy it a lot, and I'm very much looking forward to the next one. So that's what I'm going to do. Again, I mentioned earlier in my video that just one more thing before we finish off. I decided not to watch the next episode because I'm like, I need to make sure I edit this one first and get it out. So that's what I'm going to do. But I was just thinking about something when I was rewatching the footage, and it was the part where he was explaining to Maya that Ronan is dead. And then she's like, how would you know? He's like, I was there. And she was like, who killed him? And then he, like, you know, you could see him verbally say Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, and stuff. And technically, we know that's a lie, that Ronan's not dead. And then, obviously, she didn't kill him. But when you think about it, it's technically true in a sort of metaphorical way where he was doing the Ronan things, and then she was the one who showed up. Remember the scene in the rain when she had the umbrella and stuff? And he took off his mask, and it was all, again, the pouring rain could add to that grittiness and stuff. And then he was like, don't give me hope, when she was saying there's a way to bring him back, like your family and everyone else that was lost. So that scene technically was the last appearance of Ronan. And they eventually did what they sought out to do, what she promised him, and brought back his family. So technically that was the end of Ronan. So in some sort of symbolic, non-literal way, she ended Ronan. So technically she can be attributed to the one as killing it. So I just thought that was like a little cool thing, because when you really think about it, it's a deeper meaning when he says that. And I was just like, oh shit. So yeah, I just thought that was cool. Yeah, all right. I'm going to put this at the end of the video because it was something I realized afterwards, so obviously this is at the end. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and yeah, until then, I will catch you folks in the next video.